wasn't happy with some of you on the last test solving quadratics. So this worksheet is kind of a review of all the different types of quadratics that I need you to be better at. All right. And for those guys who were listening, I did say we're going to kind of start at the bottom and kind of work our way up because those have specific word problems that I want to go over and make sure you're good with. All right. So let's go, everybody, to the bottom. All right. We're just going to work backwards. All right. And again, be patient. All right. Please pay attention. All right. Ask me a question when you don't understand something. These last 4 or 5 problems are a little bit harder, but it's something we should be able to do. All right. So again, it says originally a rectangle was twice as long as it is wide. So what I want everybody to do is we're just going to draw the rectangle. All right. All right, there's my rectangle. All right, so it's twice as long as it is wide. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this as W, and I'm going to put this as L. All right. Now, if I let the length be X, what's the width going to be? Oh, I'm sorry. If I let the width be X. Sorry, that was my mistake. If the width is X, then the length is what with relationship to X, though?
Would it be 2x?
Yeah, it would be 2X, right? So please, again, you got to stay with me now, all right? Now, we said right off the bat that originally a rectangle was twice as long as it is wide. So I just label it length and width. I wrote the width smaller than the length because that's accurate, all right? The width is long, the length is longer. Now it says, when 5 meters was subtracted from its length. So what's the length going to be now? Thank you, 2x minus 5. All right? So if I were to subtract 5, and then what? So what would the width be? Yes, the width would be x minus 3. All right. The resulting rectangle had an area of 55 square meters. So what would be the dimensions of the new rectangle? Come on now. What are the dimensions of the new rectangle? All right, let me draw it just to make sure. This is what I want you guys to be able to do. That's the new rectangle. Does everybody agree? So what is the width going to be, guys? Thank you. It's x minus 3. And what's the length? 2x minus 5. Come on, that's not that hard. Now, how do I find the area of that rectangle? Come on, some of you are tell or daydreaming. How do I find the area of that rectangle? What do? You multiply the two together. So we're going to do 2x minus 5 times x minus 3. Everybody good with that? And then that equals what? Say it again. Good job, girl. That equals 55. Now, how do I know it's equal to 55? Because that's what it says. The resulting rectangle had an area of 55 square meters. All right. Yes, sir.
So, like, why wouldn't you square, like, the length? Because it's the bottom and the top.
So what I want to review with you is just to make sure you're hearing me correct. Area is just length times width, right?
Okay, but, like, the width, okay, so the width is x minus 3, but wouldn't it also be x minus 3 on the other side?
Yeah, exactly. That's x minus 3 over here, too.
So,
we're not doing perimeter, remember? Perimeter
okay,
is,
yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Area is multiplying length times width. All right. Now, guys, we have to learn how to solve that. All right. Is it set equal to 0? No. Do we have to set it equal to 0? Yeah, because we know it's going to be a quadratic. So the first thing I need to eyes up. I want everybody to be able to look at that 2x minus 5 times x minus 3 and multiply it in your head. That's what you should be able to do at this stage of the game because we've done it a ton. So to practice that, what is 2x times x? 2x squared. So everybody writes down 2x squared. Now you're visualizing the smiley faces. Visualize the smiley faces. So that would be, how much is this right here? How much is that? How much? Negative 5. How much? Negative 6. So now the middle term would be negative 11x. Right? Negative 11x. And then you're multiplying these two, so that's what? Plus 15 equals 55. Is everybody happy with that? Now you can set it equal to 0. So you subtract 55. When I subtract 55, what does that become? Minus 40 equals what? Equals 0. Everybody good with that? Now we have to do some factoring here, guys. So let's go. 2 sets of parentheses. How do I make 2x squared? 2x and x. Middle factors of 40. Where does the 8 have to go? On the right or the left? On the right. Yep. So I put 8 over here and 5 over here. Now I'm looking, how much is that? How much is that? Does that make negative 11? If the 8 is and the 5 is, come on guys, that's not hard. So x is equal to negative 5 over 2 or x equals 8. In this case, can x be negative? Can x be negative? No, because we're talking about lengths. So this guy is out. Negative 5/2 is out. Now I have x equals 8, but I don't know what the question is. So I got to go back and read the question. So it says if x is 8, find the dimensions of the new rectangle. So the new rectangle has dimensions x minus 3 times 2x minus 5. So what are the dimensions?
The width is 5.
Yes, 5 by...
3.
No. 5 by...
2x.
What is x? So what's 2 times 8 minus 5? Yeah, 5 by 11. All right. And these are meters. All right. Now, again, I think we're kind of okay with solving a quadratic, but we had a little struggle there figuring out what the dimensions were. So I want to make sure you guys are hearing me on this. Does everybody agree with me that the dimensions are 2x minus 5 and x minus 3 of the new rectangle? So all you do is you substitute in down here, we had x equals 8. So you plug in 8 into both of these x's right here. You plug in 8 to both of those x's. Bless you. All right, so that's the first hard problem. All right, that is the first hard problem. And again, my advice is always just redo the problem, look it over, think about it. All right, I try to create some kind of similar. All right, so you get a better shot at it, a second chance. Here we go. Let's look at the next problem. 33. All right, so now we have, I need everybody to draw a rectangle again. And now I need you to label it properly. So this can be the length and this can be the width. Does everybody agree? The perimeter is 40. If the perimeter is 40, how do I write the perimeter of a rectangle? What is that? P is equal to, there's a formula. What's the formula? Tell me. Very good. 2 parentheses length plus width. All right. That's a good way of writing the perimeter. Can you also say 2L plus 2W? Yeah, it's the same thing. All right, and what did it say the perimeter was? 40. So if 40 is the perimeter, what do the length plus the width have to add up to? No. What does the length plus the width have to add up to? 20. Thank you, because we divide both sides by 2. So now most of the kids that I know just do this by guessing and checking now. If the length and width have to add up to 20, and the area is 96, so you would say area formula is length times width. So 96 is equal to L times W. Does everybody agree with that? Everybody agree? So I want someone to tell me real quickly, what two numbers add together to make 20 and multiply together to get 96? Definitely not 10 and 10. 10 times 10 is 100. What else? Come on, guys. This is what I'm saying. Your brain should be calculating two numbers added together. Does 1 and 19 work? No. Now, is the answer going to be close to 10? Yes, because 10 times 10 is what? 100, which is close to 96. So instead of 10 and 10, try 12 and 8. Why does that work? Because 12 plus 8 is what? And 12 times 8 is?
36.
That's not funny. All right, you're getting ready to take standardized tests, and you're telling me, 12 times 8 is 100. All right, doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so again, I have the answer now. I know the answer is 12 and 8. Does everybody agree? All right, but of course, all right, that's just using mental math. All right, and obviously, I want to do something more than mental math. So here's what I want to show you. All right, does everybody agree that the length, and this is what I want everybody to write, the length is equal to 20 minus the width? I took this equation right here. And I just solved it for L by moving the width over. All right? So the length is 20 minus W. Is everybody good with that? Now what am I going to do? I'm going to replace over here. This is a substitution, which we talked about. I'm going to now take this 20 minus W, and I'm going to put it in for this what? For that L. So now watch. So now you're going to tell me 96 is equal to 20 minus W times W. All right, come on now. Continue writing out. All right, making yourself notes. I like some of you guys are finally highlighting and drawing things in like I'm trying to show you. That's really helpful if you're reviewing your notes and you're not sure what's going on. Now we need to distribute the W. So if I distribute the W now, all right, I have 96 is equal to 20W minus W squared. Does everybody agree that's quadratic? We got to set the quadratic equal to 0. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the negative W squared over. When I move the negative W squared, it's going to become what? Positive W squared. Then I'm going to move the positive 20 over to what? Negative 20W plus what? Plus 96 is equal to what? Is equal to 0. Now again, what are the factors of 96 that make 20? We already discussed about this. 12 and 8, right? So here we go. So I have W minus 12 minus 8. So the width could technically be 12 or what? Or the width could be 8. So your answer is the dimensions. You could say 12 meters by 8 meters. And if I reverse it, is it the same thing? 8 and 12 is the same as 12 and 8. So you don't have to write it twice. All right, so again, I just showed you mental math, how you can easily figure it out just by doing mental math. All right, that will get you half credit. Full credit is if you can show me how to set it up. All right, and then solve it. All right, by setting the factors equal to 0. All right, let's go down to 32. Yeah, is this what we're on?
Yeah.
Wasn't that 33?
Yeah.
So now we're moving to 32. So how do I find two numbers that total 12? What does that mean? You add up together, right? So what variables are we going to use? What two numbers are we going to use? Letters.
Oh, X and Y.
Yeah, X and Y. So we would just say we want two numbers that add up to what? 12. We want two numbers that add up to 12. Now, what do I do to those two numbers? Who's what? What does it say? Squares. So we have to do what? Square them. So it would be x squared plus y squared must equal what? Yeah, x squared plus y squared equals 74. Now this is the same principle. What does y equal, guys? What does y equal down here? Better look at it. What does y equal? So from this, come on now, I'm solving for y. What do I have to do? Move the x over. When I move the x over, it becomes, yes. So y is equal to 12 minus x. Y is equal to 12 minus x. Come on now. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Y equals 12 minus x. Now, what do you think I'm going to do with that 12 minus x? Plug it in, just like we did on the previous problem. Diesel, come on now. Better hurry up. All right, I'm doing math, and you're heading out. Look, guys, right down here, it's the same principle. We solve for a variable, and then we do what? Plug it in. I solve for a variable, and now what do I have to do? Plug it in. I'll get right with you. Just 1 second. So what do I mean by plug it in? I'm going to take this equation, 12 minus x, and wherever I see a y, I'm going to plug it in. Carly, are you okay?
Yeah, could you put X?
Yes, you can. Exactly correct. Thank you. If you wanted to say x equals 12 minus y, it'll be the same thing. All right, it'll be the same thing. Everybody good? All right, so here we go. When I plug in, I now get x squared plus parentheses 12 minus x squared equals 74. Now I have to square 12 minus x. I have to square 12 minus x. So here we go. X squared plus parentheses. All right, so we're going to practice. All right, everybody knows 12 times 12 is 144. So stay with me. X squared plus 144. Help me out with this smiley face. How much is that? Negative 12. How much is that? So negative 12 and negative 12 make? Negative 24x. So the middle term is negative 24x. And then x times x gives me the plus x squared equals 74. Everybody okay with that? Everybody good? Now we have to combine terms. So what's x squared plus x squared?
X.
No!
2x.
2x squared. Remember, when you're adding, you have 1x squared and you add 1x squared. So together you have what? 2x squared. Come on, guys. We got to get that. 2x squared minus 24x plus 144 equals 74. So everybody see that? Now, is it set equal to 0 yet? So now I have to do what? Minus the 74. If I subtract 74, what does that give me? 144 minus 74. Wow. What's 14 minus 7? 4 minus 4. So, plus 70. Come on, guys. That's embarrassing. If I ask you what 144 minus 74 is, does everybody see it's just 14 minus 7? 4 minus 4, 0. All right. Now, notice here, guys. Does everybody agree I can divide everything through by what number? Divide everything through by 2. So when I divide everything through by 2, I want someone now to tell me what the equation is. I'm listening.
Minus 12 plus 35.
Right. 12x, right?
Yes.
X squared minus 12x plus 35 equals 0. Now you should be able to quickly tell me what are the factors of 35 that make 12? 7 and 5. Good. So now we just say x minus 7, x minus 5. So x is equal to 7 or x equals 5. So now I have to find the two numbers. If I let x equal 5, pay attention. If I let x equal 5, what's the y going to be? 7. Exactly right. So do you agree it's the same answer, just switched, right? So you would say the two numbers are what? 5 and 7. Those are the two numbers. If I add them together, I get 12. If I square them, 5 squared is 25. 7 squared is 49. 49 plus 25 is 74. Okay?
Is there a faster way to do it?
No.
What?
No. I don't want you to try to do it a faster way. I don't like guessing and checking because the point is I'm trying to teach you how to do the solving quadratics. All right? And remember, the first half of the year, all we do is something to the first power. Now you know how to solve something to the second power. All right? And as you get more advanced, you start being able to solve cubes and something to the fourth power, all of those. All right? Now what I want to do is, all right, let's do 31. All right, the length of the rectangle is 5 centimeters less than twice the width. All right, here we go. So L equals, what does L equal?
5.
5 centimeters less than twice the width. How do I write that? Say it again. 2w minus 5. Thank you very much. The length is 5 centimeters less than twice the width. So everybody writes that down. But it also says the area is what? So how do I write the area formula? Area equals length times width. And what is the area again? 88. So now someone please tell me what I'm supposed to do now. Plug in what? What do I plug in for L? Right, guys. Now you understand. Same principle. I'm taking the 2w minus 5 and I'm plugging it in for L. All right? So this 2w minus 5 goes in for that L. All right? So now when I do that, I get 2w minus 5 times w. Is everybody okay with that? Now watch me. Look right here, kiddo. See this L? I'm going to highlight it differently. That L I changed to 2w minus 5. And then there's the w that's sitting right next to it. You with me? Doesn't matter if you put the w in front. If you want to put the w in front, that's fine. So now when I distribute the w, I get 88 is equal to, when I distribute, what do I get? 2w squared, I'm listening, minus 5w. Now it's a quadratic, so it has to be set equal to what? So what do I have to do? Someone move the what? Yes, I moved the 88. When I move the 88, it becomes what? Good job, guys. So I have 2w squared minus 5w minus 88. That has to equal what? That has to equal 0. All right, I'm not going to pause it, but you got 30 seconds. Everybody should be able to factor that right now. See how good your skills are. Set the factors, all right? After you factor it, you set the factors equal to 0. And then I want someone to tell me what the W is. Let's go, chop, chop, factoring. Factors of 88. You got to break them down. Let's go, easy, come on. Easy, easy. 2 sets of parentheses. Let's go. Good job. Good job. Smiley faces. Yes. Wow. Very good. So you want to be -5. Yes. Might be present one day.
I am already present. What do you mean? I'm trying to person we can.
I bet Trump can factor.
Wrong.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's get back to the factoring. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. All right, Miss Pliego, why don't you tell us? 2W plus 11 and W minus 8. Let's check and see if she's right. How much is that? 11. How much is that? How much is that again? -16. You got to say -16. Because the 11 minus 16 creates the -5. There you have it. Now, after you factor, you set the factors equal to 0. At this stage of the game, you should be able to just look at that and say W would be -11/2. Can the width be negative? No, so that is out of the picture. And then W equals what? 8. So the width has to be 8. And if the width is 8, you go back and say, what would be the width, or what would be the length? 11, that's correct. So I want everybody to put down the width is 8 centimeters, and the length would be what? 11 centimeters. Now you're supposed to tell me again, if you're not sure where the 11 is coming from. What? Yes, all you're doing is you're plugging in 4W8. That's it. All right, any questions with that? Okay, so 30, we're going to do that tomorrow. So we're going to go back to this top again. I got one more word problem I want you to do for tomorrow. And then today we're going to start on question number 13. All right, so I'm going to pause it now, right? And I'm going to give you a couple minutes. If you don't know how to do 13, try 14. All right, I'm going to walk around the room. All right, I want you working. Try 13 and 14. Again, all right, now here's what I don't understand about some of you, especially on 13. They told you what one of the factors were, right? They told you that it was 5x plus 4. Now, again, what you should do is you should have 2 sets of parentheses, and you should have already put down 5x plus 4. Does everybody agree with that? Does everybody agree? Come on now, look and see if you got it right. Now, I need 45x squared. So what's the left part of the other factor? Has to be 9x. So I put down a 9x. Then I come over here and say, well, if it's 9x, it can't be D and E. That's what you're doing. All right? Now, I need a -8. It has to be a -2. This is what I'm saying. I'm not even understanding why some of you are not catching that. Correct answer has to be what? Has to be B. Come on. That's not that hard. All right? I want you to be able to do that. All right? Now, on number 14. This is embarrassing because if you didn't know how to do it, you just plug the numbers in. Right? Does 8 work? No, 8 doesn't work, right? Because that would be 8 times 8 plus 2. That doesn't equal 8. So A is out. Let's plug in 4. So does 4 times 4 plus 2 equal 8? Really, what's 4 plus 2? What's 6 times 4? Does that work? That doesn't work. So 4 is not the answer. Now, I'm just going to plug in 2 because it's easy. 2 times 2 plus 2. What is that? 4 times. Is that the answer? Yeah, without much work there, guys. Just mental math. I have the right answer. But of course, that's not what I want. All right, that's not what I want. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to grab this now. And this is what I really want on your paper. And again, I mean it, guys. All right, I want you multiplying that out. So that becomes x squared plus 2x equals 8. Then what do I do to both sides? Hello? What do I do? Move the 8 over. Thank you. So it would be x squared plus 2x, what? Minus 8 equals 0. And now we do our factoring. And so what does that factor to? Good job. X plus 4, x minus 2. So x is equal to negative 4 or x equals 2. Everybody with me? If you know how to do that, you're pretty good. All right, that was pretty good. All right, now let me ask you to try for homework. What time do we got here, guys?
45.
Yeah, we have 10 minutes. So here's what I want you to try. Please try 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, that's perfect right there. I want everybody to take 10 minutes, go through those, and I'll start with those tomorrow. And I want you to see how you're doing. All right, I want you to see how you're doing. All right, hopefully you're getting better at it. All right, again, the importance of solving quadratics is very important for all standardized tests. All right, so make sure you're working. Beasley, you working hard? Thomas, you doing all right over there? All right, come on, I want you working. All right, I don't want anybody saying it's too hard. It's not. Some of the problems are very similar. All right, get to work.